Week 16 of the fantasy basketball season, and here's a few forwards I look to buy and trade for this week. The first forward, Paul George, Los Angeles Clippers. I know George, he's been banged up a lot over the last few seasons for this Clipper team, but this Clipper team, ever since this rule's been in effect this season, if you got to play 65 games or more to qualify for most awards, these Clippers have been playing in Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, who's missed tons of games over the last few seasons. So on the year here for George, 22.6 points a game, 5.4 rebounds, 3.6 assists, 1.6 steals, 3.4 threes, and 46% from the field. But the last 2 weeks, his numbers have definitely dropped. 17 a game, 4.6 boards, 3.4 assists, 1.6 steals, 2.1 threes, and 44% from the field. So his three ball hasn't been dropping as well over the last couple games. He is Paul George. And we know he's third fiddle on this offense behind James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and even some nights Russell Westbrook is that third option. So the last few games, February 2nd at the Pistons, 18 points, 4 boards, 7 assists, 3 steals, a block, 2 threes, 50% from the field. February 4th at the Miami Heat, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, a block, a steal, 3 threes, 23% from the field. And February 5th at the Hawks in a shootout type of game where they won 149-144, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 3 threes, 53% from the field. So Paul George, like I said, the last few games, his numbers have definitely dropped off. He's not 100% as well. And like I said, being on a loaded roster with the Clippers, with great players, just some nights it's not going to be his night where he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot, and he's going to have to play third, fourth fiddle. So right now, while he hasn't done much the last few weeks to his type of stats you're used to seeing from George, he's a buy low this week. The next buy low, Aaron Gordon of the Denver Nuggets. Aaron Gordon's been on this list a few times this season, and I know his numbers this year haven't been all impressive, and they've dropped off from last year for Gordon. On the year, 13.6 points a game, 6.6 rebounds, 3.1 assists, and 54% from the field. So 3 points per game. It's dropped this year here for Gordon, but his rebounding and assisting numbers have been the same. January 31st at the Thunder, 16 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal, 4 blocks, a 3, 43% from the field. February 2nd versus Portland, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, a 3, 77% from the field. And February 4th versus Portland once again in that one for Gordon, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 50% from the field. So right now, Aaron Gordon, his numbers aren't all that great, but I think Gordon's still a solid ball player. He's going to give you scoring, rebounding the basketball, and a decent field goal percentage on most nights. So right now, well, his value, not many people value with this season, and his numbers are in the middle of the pack. He's a good buy low forward this week. In the third and final forward I look to buy and trade for this week's OG Anunoby of the New York Knicks. I know he's been out over the last few games here, is Anunoby, and there's a possibility he might return after the All-Star break, is OG. But on the season, 15.3 points a game, 4.2 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 1.3 steals, 2.1 threes, and 49% from the field. So he's a 5-6 category type of player, is OG Anunoby, and he's been a solid trade piece for the New York Knicks. But now he's missed the last 5 games for the New York Knicks. So the last 3 games before he went out, January 23rd at the Nets, 10 points, 5 boards and assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks, 37% from the field. January 25th versus the Nuggets, 26 points, 2 rebounds and assists, 6 steals, 3 threes, 55% from the field. And January 27th versus the Heat, 19 points, a rebound, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 threes, 57% from the field. So OG playing good basketball he was before he went out with the elbow injury. And this Knicks team, believe it or not, since he's went out, have won 4 out of 5 ball games. So maybe he'll come back sooner than later. But there's definitely a possibility, like I mentioned, that we might not see him after the All-Star break. But he's a player that fits this Knicks system well since the trade, and given all his 5-6 categories. So I would go out there and buy him low because he'll be back sooner than later, I believe. And it's not going to be a lingering injury the whole season. So that's a few forwards I look to buy and trade for Week 16 of the fantasy basketball season.